Hello, Internet. Welcome to another edition of Eric's Corner with the word to the not so wise. I was outside doing a little welding. Thought I'd come in and take a break. That's hence the thick leather jacket here. Um, Today I'm going to cover, probably won't be briefly, but COVID amnesty. And this one really irks me because who does it cover? Is it putting people that got put on the no-fly list because their 2-year-old wouldn't wear a mask? Which, by the way, I have a video of me personally seeing a flight attendant being an absolute cunt for no reason. This other guy, his 2-year-old wouldn't put a mask on. He's crying and screaming, and she's badgering him about it. And I happened to have my little over 2-year-old at the time, Alaric, with me, and I said he's only 23 months. He's under 2. And that flight attendant for me, you need to teach your kid to wear a mask. We're 2 years into a pandemic. And I looked back and I said, no, I'm just not going to fly anymore. And she kind of gave me this sideways glance, and I was like, oh God, I don't want to have to do this, because we're on a layover. We're halfway to where we were going. And it's like, son of a bitch, I don't want to have to do this. And then this useless twit decided, oh, if you're a veteran, thank you for your service. And I told them to go fuck themselves. I don't think they knew it was me. But about the people who are arrested and put in jail for not following protocol as you let people out of jail and prison to reduce the population so the virus wouldn't spread. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense. If I was law enforcement, I would not have followed any of that bullshit. I mean, is it there for the nurses that were giving people saline shots because they didn't believe the vaccination worked? Oh no, of course. I mean, I've seen some where they've gotten acquitted of charges, but I mean, is it there for them, or is it for the World Health Organization and the media who fed us bullshit? You know, they fed us bullshit and lies. Pfizer and Big Pharma are taking these $50 billion allotments of money to develop a vaccine that, I mean, you might still get the virus, but it could have been worse had you not gotten the vaccine. That's a really weird pitch, telling people, basically it didn't work. But I mean, it could have killed you if you didn't get it, though. I mean, come on. If you catch it, you catch it. My dad got the vaccine, still got the virus. My mom got the vaccine, didn't get sick. I basically lived my life business as usual for almost 2 years. And then early October of 2 years ago, right after Tyrion was born, my younger son, and Olivia and I just got sicker than hell. And it was absolutely awful. And you know who doesn't give a shit when you're sick? A 1-month-old and a 2.5-year-old. They don't give a shit. But the older two tested positive. 15 and 8-year-old tested positive. Never showed a symptom, not even so much as a runny nose. And the younger two never even so much as got a fever. So the most deadly virus there's ever been, I mean, only a third of us in the household even got sick. So, I mean, I call bullshit. And Justin Trudeau, the Minister of Canada, I mean, he's like, oh, well, the mandates, you have to follow them or else we're going to put in more stricter mandates. Like, I mean, it was just a government takeover power play. And if you notice that they tried to bring COVID back here for this election cycle and it kind of flopped, even the most hardcore COVID sympathizer didn't believe it happened. And I know people that, oh, I'm so glad this happened. There's no way Trump is going to get elected. It's all his fault. I mean, for fuck's sakes. He banned travel from China in the beginning of 2020. And, oh, well, fuck him. He's just a warmonger and he's just picking on the poor Chinese people. A month later, as if people think we never saw the earlier news broadcast. Well, Trump should have done something sooner. He got people killed. Like, stop flight from the region where the virus is coming from. Well, there is no handbook for this, but Trump should have followed the handbook that there isn't one of. I mean, the first thing is ban travel from that area, right? It was great because I was just getting out of the Navy at the time, and I already told a story on that. I know it was a scam. People say, I think more people were saved by the virus than it even killed. Let me explain. All the people that didn't die in car accidents, because the death rate of car accidents went way down. The mortality rate went up because there was no traffic jams. Speed is a direct killer in traffic accidents. So it went up, but the amount of people that died went severely down significantly. People that didn't go skydiving, cliff rock climbing, cliff jumping, scuba diving, all these recreational activities that all of a sudden people didn't die in anymore. I mean, it saved a lot of lives there. Am I wrong? Um, the virus also killed a lot more people than the virus itself. Let me explain. The people who didn't get needed but non-emergency surgeries because they were afraid to go to hospitals. People that, the substance abuse, the domestic violence, the suicide rate. I got a buddy whose wife works in surgery. She's what's called a scrub tech. She hands surgeons the tools. A crazy involved job. Absolutely crazy what she does. All the tools that she needs to know what they do. I've seen the layout. It's mind blowing. She was working up in Soldaten, and she said there was no pandemic. We were saving people from attempted suicides. So, and my dad insists, like, oh well, there were vans full of dead bodies. Okay, but we couldn't produce a picture of it. Well, here's a reefer van, a semi-trailer that's refrigerated, a reefer van, up next to a hospital. Okay, they have cafeterias, they have frozen and chilled produce that goes there. That doesn't say that they're full of bodies. And the media is trying like hell to scare people. If there were vans full of bodies, we'd be seeing them. There was a Film Your Local ER Facebook channel. And again, my dad says, well, you don't know who any of these dipshits are. Some people on YouTube, they're not accountable. You don't know when those videos were taken. Yeah, but when are you finding all these empty ERs? And why would you film them if not, the videos are a cause of a skepticism and not the other way around. Like, we haven't just been filming ERs just, in case this works out later. The USS Comfort that was sent to New York, it saw like 25 patients. Okay. And then there was the event center down the road that was used during 9/11 that they set up as a temporary hospital. And it was empty. And people, whoa, there were logistics problems getting people from the hospital down to that center. Really? I don't think so. And the hospital in New York was found negligent in inflating their COVID deaths in order to get funding, because they got 20 grand from the government every time they had a COVID sickness or death. And Governor Cuomo, oh, well, we know all your ventilators. Well, I'm sorry, you're not the only people that need your ventilators here. It's not all about you guys. And I mean, your temporary facility is empty. I mean, this just isn't that bad. Oh, well, 2 weeks, slow the curve. Well, the 2 weeks slow the curve lasted 2.5 years. And when you have medical professionals doing their TikTok videos and all that dumb shit, I'm not saying they're wrong. That's fine. Make your goofy videos. What you do on your breaks and before and after work is fine. But we have 8-10 people in these videos. It takes a lot to choreograph these videos. Like me, I'm just going off the cuff here. I'm just getting up here and talking. It doesn't take, I mean, it does, but to get 5 to 8, 10 people to do a choreographed dance for 30 seconds saying, oh, stay home because our job is dangerous and you're making our job dangerous by risking infecting us. Well, fucking quit then. I mean, again, they're not wrong, but you're not going to convince me there's a real pandemic when medical staff has the time and energy to make all these dumbass videos, and you're telling me to stay home? You know what? I got out of the Navy. I had to take a job where I could get it. I still had to risk COVID, and I went to haul pots in the Bering Sea. We ended up taking a tending contract, and I ended up not doing it, but I still hauled some pots. One of the most dangerous jobs on the planet. I had to do that also in tandem with the risk of this pandemic. So fuck off. Quit. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I was telling people, being in the Navy sucked. Well, nobody forced you to join. Yeah, but I'm forced to stay. And you know what? I mean, that's not a good excuse for just fucking your airmen and your sailors and your Marines as much as possible. Well, you're not forced to be here. Yeah, there are people that are forced to be there because it's join or stay in a very toxic neighborhood in an inner city where there's no jobs, or an abusive family life, or just live your life in poverty because you need the college money, you think you do. So yeah, some people don't have a choice. So you know what? Quit. Don't tell me to stay home. Oh, okay, I'll just stay home until I starve to death. I mean, you're there getting a paycheck. I got to go get a paycheck too. And and of course, anytime anything happens, I mean, jump on it and got to insert my liberal agenda here. Oh, they should have their college paid for. They are. They're getting a paycheck and they take a portion of that and they pay for their college. Like, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's not my job to pay for your goddamn college. You're getting a paycheck. Enough of this dancing around. Oh, stay home. No, I can't. It is just simply not an option. I have a family to feed, and it's grown since this whole mess started. So, COVID amnesty is there to protect the politicians and the lying media. We all know that media is lying and bullshitting us. I mean, we see it happen time and time again, and I'm telling you, stop developing an opinion based off the first 30 seconds of video that they play on a loop over and over again. Now, I'm guilty as charged. I say, well, here's what happened, but you say, well, where's the rest of the video? And people, well, that's bullshit because you saw the aftermath. It's like, no, you didn't. You just didn't see the rest of the video. So I don't believe, I think that I, in my mind, know this was here to derail Trump's campaign. It's not a coincidence that it happened in an election year. And again, all the indictments Trump is getting because he's winning. Well, why weren't we doing this 3 years before this election? You waited until he started winning and to indict him for all these things, and they're not politically related. It's his own company. I mean, I'm not saying he's without sin. I'm not saying he's wrong or right or wrong, but it's awfully curious. And you know what? If you don't like him and you just say, hey, I don't give a shit how much they bastardize and molest the system. I just want him gone. I don't care how they do it. Okay, fine. Just say that and admit it. And then when it's done to you next time, I can say, well, you're okay with it when it benefited your side, but now you're not okay with it when it's against you. I mean, that's just the left. They just can't meme. It's always just backpedal on every philosophy they've ever had. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on COVID amnesty, and of course other things. I'm gonna do another video on COVID itself. Or maybe I won't. I actually think I pretty much covered it. I got a good video on that I'm trying to put together on, if the roles were reversed, the Trump campaign versus the Biden campaign, if they were reversed last election, you'd be still burning the city down over voter fraud and this, that, and the other thing. I mean, there's too many things here that added up to obvious voter fraud. And again, somebody said, like, the worst part about election years are the pandemics. They tried to bring it back, like, oh, there's a new variant, blah, blah, blah. Like, and nobody believes you. So in another video, I mentioned how you're the carbon that they're trying to get rid of. Now's the time to release the real virus because nobody's going to believe it. Like, oh, yeah, sure, whatever. It's just going to get blown off. And again, with the masks, I mentioned I went to New York. Well, I didn't specifically say, but I saw an issue between a flight attendant and a passenger. I was on my way to New York with my mom and my oldest son to meet his great grandpa. And just how, crap, I lost my train of thought. The whole wearing a mask thing. Every airport we went to had a different standard on the mask. Well, wear a double mask, this, that, and the other thing. Like, I fell asleep, my mask fell off, and I got woke up. I've told you 3 times to put it on. So I just take my hoodie and sit up against the wall and tuck my hoodie over my head so I could breathe because I'd fall asleep and I couldn't breathe. And the whole answer to a mask doesn't work was never take the mask off. It's, well, wear the mask into the restaurant, then take it off once you're seated. Oh, take the mask off between bites. You're trying to play your instrument at a sporting event? Well, just cut a hole in it. Like, I mean, you have asthma and you're suffocating? Well, just die then. You're really selfish for not wearing a mask. It's about other people. Like, those surgical masks are so blood and literal shit does not squirt into the doctor's mouth and your scrub tech's mouth so they can talk and not spit into their patients. It's not a filter, dude. I don't know what to tell you. I've spent thousands of hours of my life wearing a respirator to breathe, and I can't have a beard. It doesn't seal. There's a wax you can put on your beard to where it'll seal off. That's not what a freaking mask does. And all these nurses say, it has definitely saved our lives and everything. Okay, well, riddle me this. Why have masks always not been required in places where lots of sick people gather, like hospitals? Why hasn't that been standard procedure for the last 50, 70, 80, 100 years? Why hasn't that always been what we've done if it's so good at stopping the spread of illness? Why have they not always been required in every clinic? Why haven't they not always had to wear these things? Now, I went to the chiropractor, had my face down on those pillow things, and smashed the mask against my face, and I couldn't breathe. The doctor's like, oh, you really got to wear it. But he's just following protocol. That's fine. But, I mean, see, none of these things make sense. That's why I know it was a fraud and it was a scam. And media, they had a new 2-week study every 15 minutes. And like I said, I just got out of the Navy, and I was laying on my girlfriend's couch watching this shit play by play, wondering what the hell is going on here. And I expected it to blow over really a lot sooner than it did. So, I mean, and I've talked to medical professionals, and if you're going to sit here and say, well, you're not a doctor, well, I've talked to doctors, I've talked to medical professionals. Joe Rogan had 2 doctors on his show that said, hey, this is not correct, and they tried to cancel him. He has 13 times the viewership of CNN. 13 times. Not twice, not triple, not 5 times, not 10 times. 13 times the viewership of CNN. I mean, who do you think I'm going to believe? Joe Rogan's guests and Joe Rogan, or CNN or Fox News that have been caught over and over again bullshitting us? You know, just and like I said, they tried to cancel him. And cancel culture, that's another video I'm going to do. You know, just this insistence on deplatforming people that go against the narrative is just absolutely freaking absurd. So anyway, that's my COVID amnesty spiel, and why, and well, that's actually my COVID-19 video also, actually kind of wrapped up into one. So you're welcome. If you're still even watching. I mean, I wouldn't blame you if you shut me off, but yeah, thanks for watching, and I mean, I hope you take my advice with a grain of salt and take my 2 cents to heart to some degree. If you got something to say, by all means, leave a comment and I will try to address them. You know, I get more followers and viewers. I'm not going to be able to keep up with them, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time in the threads because I don't spell very well, and I'm just going to look like an idiot. You know, leave you guys to arguing with each other there. So, but thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Have a good day.